10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, my fellow freedom love sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to LL3-Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful realms of planet Earth. Today's date is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. This is episode 1906. Rumble is restored in France. Before I proceed, you can find me on multiple social media sites and podcast channels. Just type in Looky Luck number 3, Looky Luck Roman number 3 with 3 eyes, or Looky Luck Roman number 3 podcast. Furthermore, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. Hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me. If you want to donate, go to paypal.me or cash.app/lookluck number 3. If you want to donate and follow me on Steemit, I'm there at LL number 3-podcast. Yeah, it looks like I had a little discrepancy earlier today on this, trying to do a show. It didn't really work out as much. If you got a glimpse of it, that'd be great. If not, I do apologize. I know today is Charlie Kirk's birthday. May so be forever free. I do still consider it to be a false flag event. Others may claim it's a hologram. So, whether you see that or not, is just a lot bigger than what it is. Too many questions, too many discrepancies, and I digress. Well, prepare yourselves the best you can. The world's in the hell in the handbasket. It's not just in the United States, but around the world. People want to control everyone's lives, divide and conquer. Well, enough of that. I'm going to be narrating here from reclaimthenet.org. I encourage people to join, subscribe, check out their stuff, and share it with others. Free speech is more important than your feelings. Well, this one came out today. This one's entitled, the article, Rumble is restored in France after court rejects government's censorship demand. A judge just told the government that emailing censorship demands have no legal authority, is what Dan Freeth has to say. Rumble, the video sharing and cloud services platform, has reopened access to its sites for users in France following decisive legal development. A court ruled that a French official demand for content removal delivered via email had held no legal authority. In response, Rumble has restored full access to its platform across the country. The dispute dates back to 2022 when a French government representative attempted to pressure the platform into censoring certain videos. Rather than complying with the demand to erase content under threat of legal consequences, Rumble took the bold step of withdrawing service from France entirely. That stand against political interference has now been vindicated by the courts, finding that the email in question could not be treated as an enforceable action. Chris Pavlovsky, founder and CEO of Rumble, responded to the ruling with optimism and a clear message about the platform's values. Freedom wins out again, and we are thrilled that the French people will once again have access to the Rumble public square, where the free exchange of ideas happens around the clock. France has a rich history of fighting for individual freedoms, which aligns seamlessly with Rumble, as we are a freedom-first platform, and in everything we do, we look forward to turning the page in France and beginning a new chapter. Rumble has long positioned itself as a defender of free expression in the face of growing state-led pressure to control online narratives. Its legal filing in France challenged demands from authorities who wanted content removed, including coverage from Russian news outlets. Recently, the French government demanded that we removed certain Russian news sources from Rumble as part of our mission to restore a free and open internet. We have committed not to move the goalpost on our content policies, the company stated at the time. Although the platform acknowledged that France made up a small portion of its user base, less than 1%, Rumble emphasized that it was the principle of the matter that drove its decision. Good for them. To all you folks in France, I encourage you to go to Rumble, subscribe, and share your content there. It noted that French users would lose access to a wide range of Rumble content because of these government demands, calling out the broader implications of censorship for internet freedom. The European Union and the United States have imposed broad sanctions on Russia since the start of the war in Ukraine, including bans on state-run broadcasters such as RT and Sputnik. These efforts have caused controversy around the balance between national security concerns and the suppression of information. Governments around the world are increasingly pressuring American-based tech platforms to censor content beyond their borders. The United Kingdom, for instance, has targeted 4chan using its censorship law on the Online Safety Act, demanding that the platform restrict content even though 4chan is incorporated in the U.S. and has no physical presence in the U.K. Lawyers for the platform have pushed back, arguing that foreign bureaucrats cannot dictate speech rules to American businesses. This extraterritorial reach is part of a growing trend where foreign governments attempt to use their domestic laws to control global speech. Brazil has taken even more aggressive stance. Its Supreme Court has repeatedly ordered platforms like X and Rumble to remove content or suspend accounts, often under threat of daily fines or outright bans. Rumble was blocked in Brazil for refusing to remove a user account, and X has faced court orders demanding compliance with Brazilian content takedown requests. As more governments adopt these tactics, the platforms are forced to choose between resisting foreign overreach or surrendering control over what users can see and say online. However, this court ruling in France in favor of Rumble marks a victory for platforms that choose to resist censorship rather than surrender to political pressure. Rumble has proven that platforms don't have roll over when foreign authorities attempt to dictate what speech is acceptable. And I have to say, amen, damn straight. I do commend what Rumble has done. Many people say, oh, they're right wing, this and that. I go, who the hell cares? And yes, hello. Thank you for checking in. It is one moment. All right. My eyes were key. Okay. Thank you for checking in. I'm just doing my own thing here. If you want to type in stuff, if you want, hit me at my Proton Mail account, which is LL3-Podcast at proton.me. And I can check and I can see if anyone's trying to correspond here, which is all well and good. So it's so funny what's been happening over there in France, and even foreign nations and governments trying to do it here in the United States, trying to use the foreign influences and who to think, what to say, and all that good stuff, and what can you share. Well, problem is what the French representatives are doing are contradicting their own constitution. All right, this is what is really makes me, I find it very comical, because what they've done is actually contradict the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. This is 1789. All right, and I'm going to be reading a good amount of articles. But this is what they says here on the preamble. The representatives of the people of France formed into a national assembly considering the ignorance, neglect, or contempt of human rights are the sole causes of public misfortunes and corruptions of government, have resolved to set forth in a solemn declaration these natural, imprescriptible, and inalienable rights, that is, declaration being constantly presented to the minds of the members of the body social, they may be forever kept attentive to their rights and their duties, that the acts of the legislative and executive powers of government being capable of being every moment compared with the end of political institutions may be more respected, and also that the future claims of citizens being directed by simple and incontestable principles may tend to the maintenance of the Constitution and the general happiness. For these reasons, the National Assembly doth recognize and declare, in the presence of the Supreme Being and with the hope of his blessing and favor, following the sacred rights of man and of citizens. This is Article 1, okay? Men are born and always continue free and equal in respect of their rights. Civil distinctions, therefore, can be founded only on public utility. When they say about men, it's an old lingo, humanity. That's what Article 2 has to say. End of all political associations is the preservation of the natural and imprescriptible rights of man. And these rights are liberty, property, and security, and resistance of oppression. Here's number 3. The nation is essentially the source of all sovereignty, nor can any individual or any body of men be entitled to any authority which is not expressly derived from it. This is 4. Political liberty consists in the power of doing whatever does not injure another. The exercise of the natural rights of every man has no other limits than those which are necessary to secure to every other man in the free exercise of the same rights, and these limits are determinable only by the law. Here's 5. The law ought to prohibit only actions hurtful to society. What is not prohibited by the law should not be hindered, nor should anyone be compelled to that which the law does not require. So a lot of questions on that. So if you share like Russian information, how is that harmful to society? That's the hurtful to society. That is the question. Okay. This is Article 6 here. The law is an expression of the will of the community. All citizens have the right to concur, either personally or by the representatives in its formation. It should be the same to all, whether it protects or punishes, and all being equal in its sight, are equally eligible to all honors, places, and employments according to their different abilities, without any other distinction than that created by their virtues and talents. And we can just say here, I was to go to 7. No man should be accused, arrested, or held in confinement except in cases determined by the law, and according to the forms which is prescribed. All who promote, solicit, execute, or cause to be executed arbitrary orders ought to be punished. And every citizen called upon or apprehended by virtue of law ought to immediately to obey and render himself culpable by resistance. So you can say anyone who's representatives talk about that email to shut them down. Yeah, arrest them. Article 6, guaranteed. Arrest that SOB for trying to have Rumble to cease and desist. Cease and desist, excuse me. So just think about that, okay? It's just totally ludicrous. Here's 7. The law ought to impose no other penalties by such are absolutely or evidently necessary, and no one ought to be punished but in virtue of law promulgated before the offense and legally applied. I'm going to head down here I'm going to bypass, I'm going to hit the number 11, Article 11. The unrestrained communication of thoughts and opinions being one of the most precious rights of man. Every citizen may speak, write, and publish it freely, provided he is responsible for the abuse of this liberty in case determined by law. So peacefully, freely share information on Rumble is a right under Article 11, right? Absolutely. So we'll just go on down. I'm just going to bypass a few other places here. And Here's 14. What 14 has to say. Every citizen has a right either by himself or his representative to a free voice in determining the necessity of public contributions, the appropriation of them, and their account, mode of assessment, and duration. You know what? We'll just head right here. Let's hit Article 16 and 17. Article 16, 17. Every community in which a separation of powers and security of rights is not provided wants a constitution. Finally, 17. The right to property being inviolable and sacred, and no one ought to be deprived of it except in cases of evident public necessity, legally ascertained, and of a condition of a previous just indemnity. Well, the fact is this, my friends, what that representative done to Rumble contradicts the laws, the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen, because they're trying to have them cease and desist and doing censorship, but the people, small amount of people in France, are sharing it on Rumble. That's a no-no. The person who is involved or representatives are trying to do this to an American company to affect the rights of the French people is considered invalid, breached their oath of office. It's not that difficult. It's very self-explanatory. What I'll be doing too, I'll be adding the French Constitution from constituteproject.org. But one thing I got to tell everyone here, what they done is invalid, void, and without force. So the courts backed it up. You don't do that to anyone, whether it's foreign or domestic, as long as they're not making it a threat to you or the society as a whole. Based on this laws, it is they have the right to do this freely, speak their mind, be critical, and share the other side. It's not that difficult. Well, hopefully the people in France, I encourage you, utilize Rumble, expand it, and spread the truth. Observe responsibly, of course. Well, I'm going to make this one short and sweet. That will be it. I thank everyone for listening, but feel free to download and share this throughout your social media networks. If you need questions, comments, recommendations, and all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. You can email me to LL3-Podcast. That's the number 3, okay? .podcast@proton.me. If you want to donate, go to PayPal.me or cash.app/look3. If you want to give me a little crypto love and follow me at Steemit, there at LL3-Podcast. If you want to support Reclaim the Net, that'd be very good. Keep the free flow of information on our terms, not the states or the globalists. All right? Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that the demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.